In today's video, we're going to be discussing whether or not we should liquidate our Roth IRA for Yieldmax or not. Should we maybe use our Roth IRA for Yieldmax? Let's talk about the pros and cons of a Roth IRA. Our dividends of over $600,000 per year are helping us live the FIRE lifestyle, which means financially independent, retire early. If you need help doing the same, email me for my e-guides at akintodd48@gmail.com. Yieldmax helps us earn over $600,000 per year in dividends, and we're getting that through a brokerage, okay? But with a Roth, there are obviously some pros to a Roth. Last video, we talked about a traditional IRA. And I'm not a financial advisor, just to let y'all know. I'm just sharing with y'all information that I've accumulated over the years to help y'all make the best decision possible, and at least show you how I'm outperforming the market. So right now we're currently outperforming the NASDAQ. We're down only 6% for the year. The NASDAQ's down 9%. We were tied with the S&P after this weekend, as I told y'all we would be. But yesterday we had a down day. We were down about 1%. I think the market was down about 1%. At least we were. And so with our margin, that put us back behind the S&P. But this is just while the market's meandering along the, this choppy area until we can, because we've had this big V bottom. And now we're digesting this move. And when we make it back to new highs, we'll be beating all of the indexes just like in our previous years at this channel. So we're doing quite well right now. We're doing exactly what we want. We want to be in between the S&P and the NASDAQ when we're using this kind of margin leverage. My margin leverage is around 350,000 right now. It was 340, but I've been alerting all my members, SMS texts, now that I got it down to 340 this weekend, because we got 10,000 in dividends this weekend. Well, I've been getting it back up to 350 because the market's dipping. So this is the time for me to add more margin and get more income, okay? That's why our income is grown slightly, okay? And I'm gonna be doing a members only video in a couple of hours, and we'll go over all my latest moves there. So the first thing about a Roth that you have to be aware of is that with a Roth, you can't use margin, okay? And margin is how I get ahead. Obviously, this margin is a small amount of margin. My account is $1 million. This margin debt is $350,000. For every $1 you put in your account, you get $4 of purchasing power. I'm just using a fraction of this over $4 million in purchasing power to get at. It only shows $1 million approximately because I have invested in so many things that have maintenance. And so with margin, okay, you have to use it properly, and you can't really use margin in a Roth. As you know, it's very limited. And therefore, you can't take advantage of the maintenance you get, okay? So even with this $350,000 in debt, I always have to say, I'm not worried about it because my dividends pay back in less than a year. This $600,000 in dividends that you see right here, pay back my debt in less than 1 year. I'm not worried about the rates because I've negotiated my rates down twice. Many of my members who bought my e-guides did the same thing, okay? Because you have my phone number. When you buy my e-guide, you get my phone number for life, okay? So I'm also not worried about this leverage because it is so small that it doesn't really affect my performance. I mean, yes, it definitely adds to performance on up days, and it takes away from performance on down days. But in a general up market, you're going to really outperform. In a choppy sideways market like this, you're going to see some back and forth, but that's okay. That's to be expected. All right, my available withdrawal is so high, this is all that I really care about, 218, that I'm never in risk of a margin call because we always keep insurance on, and I always have techniques that we employ, which are all in my e-guides and in my private videos, to avoid a margin call at all times. So we never even got close to a margin call in this recent correction, okay? I mean, my available withdrawal was low at one point, but that's because I had so many short vehicles on, okay? That doesn't really count as low available withdrawal. It wasn't like we were really close to a margin call. Now, I'm still getting over that sickness, so forgive me. So with a Roth, okay, you cannot use your margin. It's in limited amounts. Therefore, you can't use maintenance. All right, maintenance is the key to everything that I do here. So if we're talking about Yieldmax, YMax right here, you see that the maintenance is 50% for me at E-Trade. But if you go to other brokers, you can get lower maintenance for Yieldmax. I wouldn't suggest just going to other brokers and using more of Yieldmax because it has lower maintenance there. That's just a way to really get yourself in trouble. Okay, you don't want to just over lever yourself, especially in a down market. So you have to play maintenance properly. You have to use maintenance to your advantage, and you can't do that in a Roth, simply put. Okay, so I like Roths. We're going to talk about some of the things that I like about a Roth in 1 second here. But for the purpose of this video, for how we get ahead and live the FIRE lifestyle, which means financially independent, retire early, it's a movement that we're leading here at my channel. I don't know of any other channel that's doing this, okay, where they actually make videos to help you live free, not videos to get views, videos to help you live free from 9 to 5, or use your 9 to 5 to, empower yourself and get even more qualifying income, because we use these dividends to get qualifying income to the banks for loans. That's how we replace our 9 to 5. That's how we replace our pay stubs so that we can qualify for a house or a car. So this is a very important video we're doing here, and every video we do here is actually so important because, again, it's about teaching you how to live free from 9 to 5, not just get some views. Let's not talk about Schwab D and how it gives you only a 3% yield and it never gives you any freedom and you have to wait till you're retired to use it. And even then, I don't even know if you could use it, because if you're using a Roth like many people are using with Schwab D or an IRA, then you have penalties to withdraw, and you can't maximize out of a retirement account like that. You can only really maximize out of a brokerage like we're doing here. And we get many tax breaks here at a brokerage account. So I don't understand why anyone would want to be owning some kind of Schwab D vehicle or VU or something like that. I buy the S&P too. I buy the S&P like VU. Schwab D is indexed to the Dow Jones. I buy the Dow Jones, but I just buy them in I use different vehicles so that I can actually get dividends to live free, okay? Or to get more qualifying income, like I said, to supercharge your job, okay? I'm not against 9 to 5s. I just think that if you use a brokerage, you can get more out of it, okay? If you use dividends with the brokerage, you can get more out of your 9 to 5, get more qualifying income. Of course, you can get more dividends through a Roth and through an IRA too, but you can't use them, all right? And so the first thing, again, that you can't do with a Roth is you can't use maintenance, okay? Maintenance is everything. It's the key to everything. It's the way to really leverage up and get ahead. If you need help understanding maintenance, that's in my Volume 3 e-guide. So first things first, I already just laid out the most important point here, okay? If you're using Yieldmax in your Roth, okay, you can't take advantage of the low maintenance that you would get at, let's say, an IBKR or a Fidelity. I know E-Trade has higher maintenance, but I like E-Trade because it has certain benefits there that I like. I can take my E-Trade checking card and I can swipe it and go wherever I want. I can swipe right out of my brokerage account, add to this margin debt that you see here, $350,000, and then my dividends just pay it back at the end of the month. So if I buy $5,000 worth of a plane ticket to go someplace if I want to right now, well, then my dividends just pay that back in 1 week, okay? Less than 1 week. So that's all thanks to a brokerage. The flexibility I get out of a brokerage, I can't do that with a Roth. And with a Roth, you can't take advantage of maintenance. I'm going to just say that one more time. Maintenance is everything. All right. So Yieldmax, 50% maintenance, but that helps me stay in check. It helps me not use too much of my margin leverage here at E-Trade. And with this remaining equity that I have, it's still only 50%. That means I have 50% more I can use. That means that I can use more, I can buy more funds to get more income and really snowball my dividends. And then as my dividends grow, they just pay back my margin debt even faster. And then my account grows by the equivalent amount. So you can't even use margin in a Roth. You can't use maintenance. And when you use it in a brokerage, when you pay down your margin, when my dividends come in and pay down my margin debt here, my account again grows by the equivalent amount of the dividends. It's a really beautiful thing. It's just like a house. When you take money out of a house, you tap that house, the equity in a house, and then you fix up your house. If you don't go spend it on stupid things and you go fix up your house, you actually raise the value of your house. It's the same thing with margin. It's so beautiful. When I saw my margin get paid down, and then I saw my account grow by the equivalent amount. So my account, my margin went from 350 to 340 this weekend, and my account went from, let's just say in theory, 1027 to 137. All right, so that's the beauty of margin and how you really grow to get ahead. We're down 15,000 today, by the way, or 1.12%. If you look above, you see that the NASDAQ, every index is beating us today. Okay, we're down 1.12%. That's because, if you have things like small caps and Bitcoin, you're going to feel a little bit more pressure that day. Or if you're using leverage, you're going to be down a little bit more that day. So I expect these ebbs and flows, and I could just hide from y'all and not do videos on down days, but I'm proud of showing y'all my performance on down days. I don't care what I'm doing on a down day because I really just care about high available withdrawal, and I just care about these dividends, paying for my lifestyle, whatever I do, wherever I go. Not worried about losses. All right, as long as they're generally tracking the indexes, which we are still generally tracking the NASDAQ and the Dow today. So that's the first thing. You can't use maintenance in a Roth or an IRA for that matter. But we already talked about IRAs, and you know that I don't like IRAs because they have RMDs for one, which are terrible in my opinion. They're one of the biggest crimes out there, required minimum distributions. And a Roth, this brings me to point number 2. In a Roth, they don't have RMDs. So that's a benefit for a Roth, obviously. Okay, go look all this up if you don't believe me, if you want to double check this. In a Roth, you don't have RMDs. Now, that means that you can grow your income uninterrupted without having to take out your money every year like my mom did in her IRA. And so we already talked about that once again. We transferred her money. She transferred her money from her IRA to her brokerage at E-Trade, and she just mirrors my trades. And so now she lives free out of her brokerage account. She has dividends that she's earning on her own, and that pays her way. And then the dividends just pay off her penalty from the RMDs that we took. We took the RMDs, paid the penalty, but we don't pay it all at once. We just pay it in staggered payments. Okay, small monthly payments that we negotiated. It's easy. You could just tell the IRS whatever you want, $500 a month, $1,000 a month. So that made her penalty painless. All right, and we make so many dividends every week, every month, that will pay off her penalty and no problem. Okay, and then once her penalty is gone, then she's just left with all these income producing assets to herself. Okay, and then I taught her about the power of maintenance, and she knows all about margin. She uses a little bit of margin too. And so maintenance is how she's able to get ahead as well, which you can't use in a Roth. All right, if you're just now tuning in to this video because it's a live video, if you need help with maintenance, that's in my volume 3 e-guide. And also, that was our point number 1. You can't use maintenance. You can't leverage, okay, the power of your equity in a Roth. But point number 2, we were just saying that you can't use RMDs to your advantage in an IRA, a traditional IRA, because there is no advantage. You're just getting, in my opinion, taken advantage of with RMDs in an IRA. But in a Roth, you don't have RMDs, so that's a nice benefit. Okay, another benefit with a Roth is that you can use the Cornerstone rights offering to your advantage. All right, so everyone knows here that I use Cornerstone to anchor my account. Cornerstone is a 4-star fund. If you don't know about it, it is the S&P and the NASDAQ essentially. And you can see here it moves upper left to right on a chart. It has a 20% dividend, and it gives you 14% gains every month on top of that dividend, the 20% dividend. And it gives you days gains potential, which you've seen in my past video. Cornerstone in the last video, the Misty video, it was up 2%, I believe. The market was up 1%. So you get days gains with Cornerstone. You get the 20% dividend, and you get these drips, which many months we're getting 30, 40, 50% gains per month with Cornerstone. Look at 2021. Look at how high the premiums were for Cornerstone in 2021. So you're getting all these advantages, but you have to play Cornerstone properly around its rights offering, right? Correct. And by the way, if you need help playing Cornerstone, that's in my volume 4 e-guide. And by the way, when you buy my e-guide, you get free access to Discord for life, where we alert you of the Cornerstone rights offering announcement. Okay? And this is the best Discord chat room in the world. We have 2,000 members here pursuing the FIRE lifestyle. We have channels all over the place here. My video's in the way. You can't really see all of the channels here, but we have a Yieldmax, Granite Shares, Defiance. We have a 401k channel. We have a Bitcoin channel. you name it. Okay, this is the best Discord chat room in the world. Most people buy my e-guides just to get Discord, which is free, along with my phone number. They're both free when you buy my e-guides. And so why do I bring up Cornerstone this time? Well, because in a Roth, you can use Cornerstone to your advantage. Many members here, go look at our Cornerstone discussion only channel. You can see that members there will use not only a brokerage with Cornerstone, okay, to take advantage, to get ahead, to live financially free. Cornerstone's the best vehicle I know because you can put all your money behind Cornerstone. It is the index. It's been around since the 80s. But you see these channels here. It moves in high, upward, moves in these channels, these highs and lows. Okay, and the key to knowing how to play Cornerstone is to understand the premium thresholds and to sell out at the highs and buy at the lows. We sold out right here at the highs because we got the alert at Discord. That's why Discord is so valuable. But you didn't need the alert to tell you to sell Cornerstone. You could have just, used the right premium thresholds, okay, which is in my Volume 4 e-guide. And so when you sell, that triggers taxes, right? So if you're in a Roth, you can sell and not have to worry about the tax situation, okay? Because with a Roth, obviously, you're taxed on the seeds, not the harvest. So many people will play Cornerstone, again, in their Roth because it has tax advantages that way when they sell for the rights offering. So that's a huge advantage that I can't understate, okay? You use Cornerstone in your brokerage, but you also use it in a Roth. All right, and that way you get to take advantage of the rights offering. You can sell out at the highs like we did here, and that's how we actually outperformed the NASDAQ during this whole down market, if you're new to this channel. And that's how, even with margin leverage, we still are outperforming the NASDAQ because we were out of the market thanks to Cornerstone. I used to have all of my money in Cornerstone at one point, 50% this year. And, in 2021, I had almost 100% of my money in Cornerstone. That's how I took my account from 15,000 to 1 million. It was with Cornerstone, with margin, okay, essentially. And when it went, because Cornerstone went from 7 to 14 during 2021. And so we got to pocket all those gains, okay, and got those, the premiums. If you're enrolled in the NAV drip, you got those 50% gains, 50% gains every month. And when you sold, you just reloaded and you bought low. You buy low and you sell high. That's the name of the game for anything. So that's how I really leveled up my account. But if you do it in a Roth, then you have those tax advantages. All right. So that's another great thing about Cornerstone. Okay, is not only do you use it in your brokerage to live financially free from 9 to 5, but you also use it in your Roth. All right. I wouldn't use it in an IRA. Because it's different that way, okay, a traditional IRA. But a Roth, again, you're taxed on the seeds, not the harvest, okay? So very important, all right? Another benefit that you have with a brokerage versus a Roth is you can sell puts in a brokerage. You cannot sell puts in a Roth, okay? So you cannot sell naked puts. These naked puts that you see here, they lowered my margin by about 50,000. They lowered my risk. They lowered my cost basis. They're the safest way to play any stock. Okay, go ask Warren Buffett, Coca-Cola. How does he, get ahead with Coca-Cola? He sells puts. And look at QQQY. Look at this. Naked puts right here are 20% maintenance. They're less maintenance than the actual long side. All right. Again, if you need help understanding maintenance, that's in Volume 3. And if you need help understanding put options and how I sell them to get ahead, that's in my Volume 6 e-guide. So you can't sell puts, all right, in a Roth. That's very important, okay? That's point number 4, okay? You can't use maintenance. You have RMDs, which is a great advantage in a Roth. You have RMDs with an IRA, traditional, but not in a Roth. So that helps you grow, without having to, take away your capital, all right? And then you can use Cornerstone in a Roth. That was point number 3, because you can, take advantage of the RO better there and really level up without having a tax hit. And then point number 4 that I'm making for you is that you cannot sell naked puts. All right, you can buy puts in a Roth. You can buy calls. You can do very limited strategies with options, but you can't sell puts. And selling puts are how I get my extra performance. Okay, people wonder, How am I getting this outperformance? Well, these puts, okay, they grow my account by 50,000 when they reach expiration, and I get days gains. Today you're seeing days losses in our put side, but that's just what happens sometimes when the market's down. I'm fine with that. They're usually less losses than everything else. Look, TECL, 5,000 that we have exposed here to TECL. We're down $25, $17 in TQQQ. That's because these are low volatility puts. All right, so they're the safest way to play the market and get extra performance, get extra cash. If you don't get assigned, which you want assignment, if you don't get assigned, you just keep the premiums and your margin falls by that equivalent amount. Your account grows by the equivalent amount towards expiration, and you get more days gains. You can engineer days gains. You saw in the last video we're up 25,000 or so, and that's because a few thousand of those were thanks to my naked puts, which again, you cannot do in a Roth. All right, my last point for y'all, point number 5, okay, why a Roth is cool. It's great. It's better than a traditional IRA in my opinion, but it has limited capabilities that you can't really take advantage of you can't take advantage of these same things in a brokerage, okay? Like with the Roth, I've already laid out 4 reasons that you need to think about. You need 4 things to think about there with the Roth. But a 5th reason I want to share with you, a 5th, let's say, benefit of using a brokerage is that you can short sell in a brokerage. You cannot short sell in a Roth. Therefore, you cannot box Cornerstone at the highs or box USA at the highs. USA is a great example. So Cornerstone, I was already lightening up on shares here because we were reaching our premium thresholds, but I was also boxing shares. Okay, when I boxed my shares, it allowed us to take advantage of the downside. So when Cornerstone fell all the way down to here, we made a lot of money on our short side, okay? And again, you cannot do this in a Roth. They don't allow short selling, so therefore you can't box. I really love boxing. Boxing's in my Volume 5 e-guide if you need help with boxing. And let's just say USA, for example. USA right here, it has a quarterly dividend, okay? Quarterly, all right? You might like this trick right here. A quarterly dividend. And so you can potentially, after the dividend is paid out to you, you can then box USA, have zero risk, because if your longs are there and then you box it against the short, you also lower your maintenance to 5%. Okay, my maintenance is usually 30%. And I'm so sorry, I am still sick. I can't believe I even did this video today, so I can barely even speak. I'm telling you, this is crazy. I need to look into my members' comments so I can always stay focused. I told them about that. You know, hey, I'll just say S. That's a hard name to pronounce. Welcome to the Fire Portfolio and SMS service. All right, all my members help keep me grounded here. I appreciate y'all. And if whatever questions you have, we'll try to get to that in the next video. So, I can't believe I'm able to even make this video once again. It was no lie that I had 106 fever. It's crazy, 106, and the rest of my family was all sick too. And Christina is still sick, so she's upstairs. But anyway, I just want to share with you this one last trick, and that is with USA. Once again, if the dividends are quarterly, then that means you can box, have no risk, and then not worry about having to pay the dividend, because when you short sell something, you have to pay the dividend instead of earning the dividend. So when you box USA after the quarterly dividend, you get your dividend, you wait till a big move is made. We did a video on this before. When USA made it back to the highs up here, okay, I boxed it, and I asked, is this the best trick in the world? Because I don't have to pay the dividend for 3 months. It's quarterly. And then the whole thing fell. And so the box position worked perfectly. I didn't have to sell the long because I didn't want to have to pay taxes. And then I just profited off the short and then rebought at the lows on the long side. And when I removed the box, then I didn't have to pay the dividend anymore. So to me, that was like one of the coolest tricks I've ever shared on YouTube. And I hope that you all are able to understand what I'm saying right here, right now. All right, so that'll do it for the video. Those are the 5 benefits of using a brokerage instead of a Roth to live financially free out of your brokerage account. If you need help doing the same, email me for my e-guides at aikentodd48@gmail.com. When you buy my e-guides, you get free access to Discord for life, the best chat room in the world, and you get my phone number for life, so keep that in mind. All right, I see your questions, members. Again, I'll take this picture and I'll make sure to address them in the next members only video later today. We'll see how the market's doing closer to the close of the bell. All right, that's where all the real action happens. All right, if you think that I'm wrong on any of these assertions, if you think I'm wrong on any of my 5 points that I made about a Roth, please leave that in the comment section below. All right, and this is a nice comment, RC. For sure, the best mastermind group, in my opinion. Leveraging killers like Todd is a true blessing, so we don't have to go through 20 years of his or her other trading experiences to benefit from their wisdom. I got signed up on his YouTube. I think it's the second option, 20 a month. Hey, thanks, RC. Great talk, by the way. We were talking back and forth in Discord today. Great conversation. All right, so I love you all so much. Hey, hey, Ralph. Yeah, Navy, she's back here. She's sleeping. She's snoring. I don't know if there's also the laundry going upstairs. I apologize for the noise. But, by the way, Amber, thank you so much. Daniel, everyone, please like this video. If you like the video, please click like or subscribe. Like it right now. And once again, let's say, I just want to answer this one question. Jet, just to clarify, you can have a traditional IRA and a Roth, just like you can have traditional 401k and Roth. No RMDs for Roth versions. Exactly, no RMDs for a Roth. But with an IRA, you have RMDs. And my mom's here, she's right here. She knows this very well. That she had to pay use these RMDs. She had to withdraw her money, and she had to pay a penalty. That's just insane. All right, so you can match your 401k, match the Roth. That is an amazing point, Jet. Very good point, Jet. I can't deny that. If you're getting a match, that really helps. But as far as using your margin, I can use my margin to match myself. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't take advantage of that employer match, even though you have to be vested and do certain things, which kind of can be sticky at times. I can just use more of my own margin to do my own matching. My dividends just pay it down at the end of the month, and then I can just use more margin once again. All right, so I don't know if you're just tuning in this video now. Again, email me for my e-guides at akintodd48@gmail.com. If you need help doing what I'm doing, living financially free, all of my members who bought my e-guides are here in this Discord, and you can do this too. Okay, use margin properly. Okay, and you have my number to call me anytime. All right. Again, if you like this video, please